Have you ever seen the number 23 with Jim Carrey? It's about this guy who goes completely off his rocker, obsessing over the number 23. It got terrible reviews, I'll admit, but it always stayed in the back of my mind due to another number, a single, slightly creepy digit, 7. We have 7 days of the week, 7 wonders of the world, 7 colors in the rainbow, and 7 is considered incredibly lucky. But 7 goes far deeper than modern times. 7 is the most symbolic and mysterious number in the history of, well, all of us. We can even find it up here, in our very own memories. I have recently become fascinated with symbolism, and I have noticed how often the number 7 is repeated across ancient texts, religious teachings, and even modern science. This consistent pattern led me to research the history and meaning behind this mysterious number. If I were to delve into the in-depth history and analysis behind 7, we would be sitting here for hours. There are just so many occurrences. Instead, I will explain just a few of the most well-known and influential examples across civilization, from ancient Mesopotamia to modern-day psychology. First, I will describe its role in ancient religions and traditions. Second, I will show how the number 7 influenced our culture and our history. Finally, I will explain how 7 shows up in our very own minds and continues to carry symbolic meaning in today's world. Let's begin by examining how the number 7 appears in ancient religions and spiritual traditions. The number 7 can be found in nearly all major religions, including Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. In the Bible, the earth was created in 7 days. There are 7 deadly sins, 7 virtues, and 7 signs in Revelation, among many, many other occurrences. In Islam, there are 7 heavens stacked on top of one another, created by Allah. Hinduism, like the Bible, has the number 7 throughout its teachings. There are 7 chakras, 7 higher and 7 lower worlds, 7 great sages, and 7 seas, along with 1,000 other examples. In Buddhism, there are 7 emotions, 7 elements, 7 arrogances, and 7 purities, among others. These examples show that 7 is symbolic of completion, divine power, balance, and philosophy. There are 7 wonders of the ancient world, including the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and the Statue of Zeus. Modern education is guided by 7 liberal arts, which evolved during the Middle Ages. These are grammar, dialect or logic, rhetoric, geometry, arithmetic, astronomy, and music. Ancient Mesopotamian astronomers identified 7 planetary bodies. These were the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. The Babylonians divided the year into 12 months and 7 days, where each day was named after one of the 7 planets. This was later adopted by the Jews, Greeks, and the Romans. Today, every culture on Earth uses a 7-day weekly cycle, most relying on the Gregorian calendar. During his work in the 17th century, Isaac Newton identified 7 spectral colors in a prism. Originally, he identified 5 colors: red, yellow, green, blue, and violet. However, he later added orange and indigo to match the diatonic scale of music. The diatonic scale consists of 7 notes, 5 whole steps, and 2 half steps, just like the rainbow, with orange and indigo being Newton's half steps. He felt that color, like music, expressed harmonies. These are powerful examples that show us how the number 7 shaped the past and continues to play important roles in modern day culture. Today, the number 7 is recognized as a lucky, easily recognizable number and is marketed as such. Casinos, lottery tickets, sports, and company branding all use the number 7 for marketing appeal. Marketing actually has an entire strategy aptly named the Rule of 7, suggesting that consumers need to see a brand's message or offering at least 7 times before they will convert. Finally, one of the most famous psychology articles in modern history, George Miller's 1956 article titled "The Magical Number 7 Plus or Minus 2, finds that humans have a limited capacity in working memory. More specifically, the average adult human can process about 7 things at one time, such as tasks, words, numbers, names, and so on. Miller's work on memory span and absolute judgment led to a wave of new concepts, such as the concept of chunking information into larger groups and structuring text and visuals into smaller, more easily remembered pieces. And would you look at that? There were 7 key topics in this presentation. Now your working memory can remember all we discussed and you'll get 100% on the quiz. Just kidding. But if you asked, you probably could remember most of the key topics discussed, simply because 7 is an all-encompassing number found even in our very brains. In summary, the number 7 has appeared as a consistent pattern across many ancient civilizations, religious traditions, various cultures worldwide, and psychology today. Civilizations have come and gone across thousands of years, but one number pops up again and again: 7. Humans have held this number up high, giving it a special symbolic power and even coining it as divine. So the next time you see the number 7, maybe on the calendar, in a story, or on an advertisement, remember that it's been placed there for a reason. A reason possibly dating back to the very first civilization of all time, thousands of years ago. I would like to leave with an excerpt from George Miller's famous article. He wrote, "I have been persecuted by an integer. For 7 years, this number has followed me around, has intruded in my most private data, and has assaulted me from the pages of our most public journals. This number assumes a variety of disguises, being sometimes a little larger and sometimes a little smaller than usual, but never changing so much as to be unrecognizable. Either there really is something unusual about the number 7, or else I am suffering from delusions of persecution." This quote reminded me so much of that movie with the crazy Jim Carrey and his problem with the number 23. So whether you see 7 in the heavens, in history, or in your very own memory, remember, it just might be the most human number of all.